Farmington Hills, Michigan, my hometown. You are up next, my friend, and we're gonna start here, of course, getting a great cup of coffee at Farmhouse. Let's get inside. That is a wonderful cup of coffee. So I stepped away from my usual cold brew black coffee for the coffee of the month here at Farmhouse, which is a Valentine's blend. It has a hint of cherry. I'm not a big fan of cherries on anything, but just a hint actually makes this perfect. So Farmhouse Coffee and Ice Cream has been around since 2008. It originally started in Franklin in a barn, and about 3 years ago moved locations from Franklin, Michigan, right here to Farmington Hills, Michigan. Okay, now as the history goes, Grandma passed down her percolator pot in 2005, and she was a huge fan of great coffee. And that same percolator pot is still found and in use here to the present day. Guys, cheers for great cups of coffee. All right, guys, well, we are pulling into our neighborhood spotlight for the morning. This one's near and dear to my heart because I grew up here. Farmington Hills Hunt Club, new sign. It's actually quite nice. Let's take a look. So Farmington Hills Hunt Club subdivision was built between 1983 and 1987, roughly 195 homes, selling between, as of the taping of this video, January 2022, going between around $360,000. The high price last year was $545,000, which is way up there. Way up there. That was actually the house over in Surrey Court. There was one that was a custom build. There were a couple builders in this neighborhood, but there was one that was a custom build that was 4,200 square feet. That was that one. Generally speaking, square footage ranges in this neighborhood are about 1,900, 1,800-ish, up to about 3,000, 3,200. There's one very, very large one. We'll drive by that, but first I gotta take you by this one house because there is almost a 3-decade argument as to whose home was built first, my home or another home. I believe this person who has submitted photographic evidence doctored the photographs. I do not believe this home was built first. I believe my home was built first, and we moved into Hunt Club before they did. All right, so word on the street is this home was built before the house that I grew up in. Fake news, lies and fabrications, lies and fabrications. But we're gonna go drive by the house that I grew up in, because why won't we? We're right here, 36816. That was the house I grew up in. That one right there. And then this was the walking path through the woods to get to school. Now check that guy out right there, that deer just kind of poking around. There's 2 of them. And there's one thing about Farmington Hills and its neighborhoods is you actually do have a real wildlife scene going on. So this is the neighborhood. All right, guys, that was a great walk down memory lane. That was my own neighborhood, Hunt Club subdivision over at 11 Halstead. We jumped over to 13 and Orchard Lake Road to the Sunrise Cafe. Mike and Barb have been operating this place since about 1983, and it shows. I mean, there is, as you probably can figure out, I'm not a fancy guy. A great greasy spoon with some amazing food that's been in operation almost 40 years is right in my wheelhouse or right up my alley. I can't wait to eat. And while we're waiting for it, let me tell you a little bit more about a few of the other restaurants there in the area that I would be checking out as well if we weren't here. Farmington Diner, which has been around longer than I have. And that's saying a lot because I've been around Farmington Hills forever. Now, of course, over in Haggerty Road, we do have a Recipes restaurant, which if you want to see the Recipes restaurant feature, we did make it our breakfast feature on our Novi video. Amazing food. Definitely a place to check out. Now, in addition to Sunrise Cafe, we also have Lisa's restaurant, which is directly across the street right here on 13 Mile Road. A great option. We've got the Breakfast Club right down on 10 Mile Road. To see more about the Breakfast Club, check out our Novi video. We did that as the featured restaurant, as it's, again, a local-owned restaurant with 13 locations currently. So here's what we got, guys. We've got the stuffed French toast, which is not on the regular menu. It's up there. It's got blueberries. It's got a whole bunch of stuff on it. We've got the Mexican omelet and, of course, the avocado toast, which is one of my go-tos wherever I go. One thing about this French toast I thought was extremely nifty was when they brought it over to the table, they brought a steak knife over with it, which I've never had a French toast served with a steak knife, and I can't wait to dig in. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. Now, we've been some fancy places, but testament that you don't need to go fancy to go, oh my God, that's so hot. Look at the steam. And to be fair, this has actually been sitting on the table for like 5 minutes, and it still has a ton of steam coming out. All right. Get a little salsa in there. Hoping I don't burn myself. Okay. It's good chorizo, so good. Okay, see, I really like that because it's like fresh avocado, not anything processed or anything else. You can tell that they actually cut it here and they don't add anything to it, which is so good. Off a big breakfast, or actually a big lunch or a big dinner, or any kind of a big meal, I always like to do some sort of a physical activity. So today we're featuring Heritage Park here in Farmington Hills, south of 11 Mile on the west side of Farmington Road. Now this park is fantastic. I can't wait to tell you a little bit about it. And they even opened up the Nature Center for us, which they did this wonderful addition. Look at this tree. Get this tree, like for real. Okay, so Heritage Park, which has been around since the early 80s, was 211 acres donated by the Spicer family and the Gutenhaus family. Although I know I'm not pronouncing that correct, I am so sorry. I'm sure we're gonna have a correct pronunciation down there. Please, in the comments, somebody help me out. It's 211 acres that was donated to Farmington Hills to make into a park and a preserve, which is amazing. Now, Farmington Hills did something very interesting with this. Instead of partnering with Oakland County or the Metro Park system, they actually partnered with the DNR. Now, why this is important is because unlike Mayberry Park or some of the other parks in the area, that keeps this park almost 100% free, with the exception of a few things that you can rent. So we've got splash pads, we've got pavilions, we've got the Nature Center, we've got 4 miles of trail that's maintained yearly. That is all free for Farmington Hills residents, which is fantastic. So there are a couple things on the list that you can rent. So you can rent the pavilions for like family events or a picnic or a barbecue, whatever you like. We do have a barbecue pit here at Heritage Park that you can rent. And then as well, they do archery. You can actually rent archery equipment. One thing I just picked up is this activity guide for Farmington Hills, which does feature a lot of the park activities. One thing I did notice is this sucker is 111 pages thick, worth of awesome stuff to do here in Farmington Hills. Check that thing out. I mean, really, there's so much to do. This place has a ton of things to do for families, kids, adults, everybody. Now I'm gonna date myself on this, but back in the 90s, I used to be a camp counselor here at Heritage Park. And what that means is the residents and the folks of Heritage Park would graciously entrust their children to my care, which does not sound like a great idea. But if you still think that's a great idea, then please trust your home sale to my care, because I'd love to help you move into or move out of Farmington Hills, whatever you need. Shameless plug, had to get it in there. We're real estate agents. Anyway, they do have great Nature Center, and the kids are safe because they no longer hire me to watch your children. Gentlemen, welcome to the Hawk. Today, guys, we are covering the Hawk here in Farmington Hills, otherwise formerly known as Harrison High School, which is now an aquatic center, a fitness center, a community center. It's got all the things that I can't wait to dive in and do a deep dive on this place. Now, if you're wondering where this is, it is on 12 Mile Road, on the south side of 12 Mile, east of Orchard Lake Road, just converted over by the city. Let's get inside. We're at the pool at the Hawk, and I do not care if there's a lifeguard on duty. I am not going down that slide. Not gonna happen. Okay, and the Hawk is formerly known as Harrison High School. I'm gonna take you through a brief history real quick. 1970 it opened. 2019 it closed, became the Hawk. Check out this theater, guys. It's amazing. They seat almost 750, and they've got all kinds of props, including this table right here. No, but they really do actually have great props and great performances. I promise. Come on down. All right, guys, I gotta admit, I was blown away just walking in the place. And if you like this place as much as I like this place, consider liking the video and subscribing to see more of it. All right, so there are, in fact, 3 separate courts here at the Hawk. Surprisingly, one is actually completely unused. You gotta get out here and try this place, guys. The Hawk. And a community center would not be complete without the fitness center at the Hawk. So we've got cardio on one side, weights on the other side. We have spin classes, all the things. Get on down. So this space right here is known as Harrison Hall. I love that they kept the name of the Harrison High School for the hall. You can rent this out for any type of event that you'd like, whether it's a birthday party, because you've also got the other activities, which is fantastic. You can rent it for business purposes if you want to hold a class or teach a class, and you can use it for conferences themselves. It's a great space to rent out. It's big, it's square, and you've got basketball right downstairs afterwards. Now here at the last space, we've got the wood shop. Now the wood shop, which is also called the maker space, is not only coming soon, it is actually here, but it just has to be closed today while we're filming, but you gotta check this place out. They offer woodworking courses. They will walk you through how to make a table or a chair or pretty much whatever you want out of wood. Hey guys, Mike Perna coming at you from The Hawk. Now I grew up here in Farmington Hills and we didn't have anything like this when I was growing up. We had like the neighborhood park and that was about it, but this place is fantastic. It has a pool, it has a slide, it has a woodworking maker studio, which is awesome. It has a performing arts theater. It also features a rock wall, a gymnasium, and a fitness center. It has it all. It even has concessions. You gotta get out here. One more thing I do want to mention is we do have local art from local artists on display. Come check it out. Super excited about lunch. This is one of my favorite places and has been for a long time. El Patio, there are 3 locations. There's one here, there's one in Waterford, there's one in Troy. When I say here, I mean Farmington Hills here off of 10 Mile east of Haggerty Road. There's one thing I want and that is a flautas or a burrito or some sort of great Mexican food. Let's eat. To me, Mexican food is like the ultimate comfort food. It's like being wrapped in a hug, and as you can tell, like if you're listening to the music, if you can hear the music, if you can pick it up in the background just a little bit, we are definitely still continuing on with those like deep cuts. Like we were at breakfast, we had Paul Abdul, now we have like whatever the Spanish version is of Paul Abdul going on. I don't even know what to say about it. I feel like you know, we're gonna get some 80s big hair bands or like some Counting Crows or some live or like a wallflower thing, maybe for dinner, maybe. I don't know, we'll see when we get there. So super burrito, more flimsy on the outside. The beef in there is perfect. And now we got the flautas, which are also my personal favorites. I love a good flautas. You can tell it's a flautas and it's fried. It doesn't even look fried. They did such a great job with it. That's temperature hot. That's unexpectedly temperature hot. Last but not least, we got the number 5. I don't even know what the number 5 is. I just know it's called the number 5. And it's a good lighter lunch because it's definitely smaller than the super burrito. But then again, that's why it's called the number 5. It's not called the super burrito, whereas the other thing is called the super burrito because the thing is massively huge compared to this. So good. Shredded steak, a little guacamole. I will add some salsa to everything because that's just what I do. And we are good to go for an amazing lunch. All right, now let me tell you another thing about lunch here in Farmington Hills. First, the 2 honorable mentions I have for this video are Ideal Bite and Community Kitchen. Great place to go. They've got an awesome brie and apple sandwich. It's located right there, kitty corner to Mercy High School, where my sister went, right at Middle Belt and 10 Mile there. And the other place I would go is the Mitten and Boot Cafe and Kitchen, located right there in Northwestern. Chef Mike's been a chef for over 20 years, and he's bringing his expertise of the golden mushroom and Charlie's crab. I would highly recommend the pizza. They've got some great sandwiches, and one thing I like about Chef Mike with the Mitten is he does support local and goes as local to here into even Metro Detroit, but Michigan. He locally sources his food, his jams, everything he uses as best as he can. So much fun to be had in Farmington Hills, Michigan. We decided to make this a not one, but a 2-parter. So like, subscribe to be sure that you're updated as soon as we drop the second video for Farmington Hills, which I'm super excited because this is my hometown, in fact, guys. And should you have any real estate needs, if you're looking to purchase or sell anywhere in Metro Detroit, we have team members servicing the entire area, 248-886-4450 or michaelperna@k2b.com. Give me a call. I'd be honored to help your family. See you in part 2.